So why do your even highest performing students hate group work? Because they don't trust the process. They know someone's not going to do their part. They know they'll either get stuck doing some of the work, the majority of the work, all of the work, while everybody else does nothing. It's not about laziness, it's about no structure. Agile solves that. It gives students a role, a voice, a process to follow. So we're not just assigning group work anymore. We're teaching students how to work in the process. And that's the shift from group project to collaborative process. And the skills that we want our students to be able to know, do, and understand in the world beyond the classroom itself. But how do we build those skills up into something that looks professional? Well, we've got to start somewhere, right? So that's what we're doing in the classroom here. We are building up, we're scaffolding these skills so that students can enter the world knowing a little bit about this process, and so it's not completely foreign to them. So if you've got students that would rather work alone rather than deal with the drama, stick around. Let's learn a little bit about Agile with students. So what is Agile, and why should students be using it? Agile is a mindset. It's how high-performing teams do real work, especially in tech, but it's not about tech. It's about how people work together to get meaningful work done. Fast, focused, flexible, and that's Agile. It's built on values like collaboration, feedback, and adapting to when things change. And the cool part, it works beautifully with student projects. Because students are messy, projects are messy, heck, learning is messy. Agile gives them a system to stay on track, pivot when needed, and finish strong as a team. No more winging it in our group projects. This is group work with guardrails. I'll show you how we bring Agile to life in the classroom using something called Scrum. And that's going to be the engine that drives this process. Agile sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, seriously, that's one of those things where I know we all strive to, as really good teachers, about how we actually get students to work together so they're not fighting, they're actually getting work done. That's the main thing. But you're here because you actually want to know how that actually happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some different kind of activities and different things that you can use within your classroom to get that agile mindset going. But you also need a process. And so that's where Scrum's going to come in. And through the Scrum process, we'll go through each one of the kind of ceremonies, as they're called. And you can cherry pick any of these different ceremonies as you go through. So it doesn't have to be a holistic approach to everything. You can pick and choose little parts, because remember, the whole goal is that students are actually learning, and they're learning at their own pace. They're learning through inquiry. They're learning through project-based learning, the ways that we really know that students can be engaged in learning. So we're going to take the Agile mindset, we're going to take the Scrum process, we're going to put it all together, we're going to actually make that classroom happen and hum and be efficient, and most importantly, students are going to learn together as a group when they go through this process. Scrum is a step-by-step process that makes Agile work in tech companies, but also mostly within classrooms. Breaks group work into short, focused work cycles called sprints. Each sprint starts with a plan and ends with feedback. So plan and then feedback. And in between, students check in regularly with their teammates, with the teacher, about how that progress is going. What we're trying to do is not only track the progress that we're making and going through our different ceremonies that we have within Scrum, but we're also trying to solve problems as they happen. And that's one of the biggest takeaways here. We're not going to be able to script everything from start to finish. And so during a group project, we're really going to have to take that time to investigate, be curious, and try to solve the problems that come up. And ultimately, that's what we want to do with our students, right? We're asking them to think about all the different scenarios that could possibly be out there, choose the best one, and then actually maybe learn some content along the way. This isn't chaos. It really is kind of a rhythm of how the process is supposed to be working. Instead of one big, messy deadline, we're going to break it down into some smaller deadlines, those sprints that we were talking about. Scrum builds in those checkpoints, reflection, and then also revision for our process so that we can make things better, or most importantly, our students can make those choices to make them better. Students don't just start a project and hope it comes together. They really have to build it piece by piece, and they learn how to self-manage as we go. And as teachers, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the scenario just right so that they can actually make this happen. Now, again, one of the things that I really recommend is that you bite off smaller pieces, try them out, see how they go. So for further topics that we'll get into, I'd love to know what are the ones that you would like to know the most. So comment down below. Let's dive into Agile with students together. Let's get into the Scrum process. Let's really learn how we can actually apply it within the classroom. Oh, and one more thing. If you click on the link in the description below, you get $5 off and added templates into the guidebook for Agile with students. Hopefully this will give you enough kind of context to get started. And again, cherry pick those different ideas that may be helpful for you to get started. Don't do it all at once, figure out the pieces that work, and I look forward to hearing how it all actually works within your classroom. So let's keep going.